So, quite a few years ago, I was chatting with a good friend of mine, and I mentioned something about guitar, and we were talking about guitar, and we were talking about work, and he said something really interesting that caught my attention. He said, people play guitar, and he said it's one thing that you play. You don't necessarily work guitar. Now, certainly you can work at guitar, right? Is a turn of phrase. But he brought up a good point that when people think about music, it's about play. It's about and for me, play uh, evokes a sense of doing something for the pleasure of it, and really just immersing yourself in, how does this work, and what can I get it to do? And I've noticed in myself over the years that I can be in a state of mind where I am playing, where I'm being playful or exploring and really excited to experience something. I think especially a lot of my early playing of guitar was because I would hear somebody play something and I would think, oh, that would be amazing. I really want to play that. And I remember the first day that I was able to play a couple notes from a guitar solo that I liked. And even though I was only playing two or three notes, I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world that I could create this sound that I had really wanted to play. And I was playing, and we play sports, right? Now, over time, uh, at times I would try to be serious with playing guitar, and then it could be not something that I worked at in a positive sense, but it felt like work. I had somehow turned it into work, turned it into a task or homework or a necessity, a should. Um, and that for me was a way that at times that it would drain a lot of the joy from it. And so it was really nice to come back to this sense of play. And I think it's a very positive thing that you can bring to the workplace. Um, coming from a place of possibility, or what can you create? What do you want to experience? What do you want to see in the world? Um, I think dance, certainly when you dance at a party, people dance for the joy of movement, for the sheer pleasure of being in a dance and to feeling your body move in interesting ways. And that's such a wonderful thing. It's just the most kind of pleasure, one of the most pleasure-based things that we can do is to just dance to feel our body in a certain expression. Um, and certainly eating food can be like this. It's just, pure sensation, pure joy. Now, I think any of these we can turn into work. We can turn into just another requirement. You can turn anything into drudgery, but anything also can be a source of great pleasure. Um, I think I mentioned in another talk that at one point I realized that I had lost a lot of the joy that I was experiencing in my music, largely because I was really caught up in how I thought I should play or should sound, um, and also making a lot of comparisons to what I thought was an adequate level, and that certainly pulled most of the joy out of it. Um, and then I did an experiment where I just decided, like, I'm only going to play uh, my instrument when I'm playing something that I want to hear, in the same sense that I really wanted to hear those first few notes that I played as a kid. Um, and and it was amazing. Like, all of a sudden, I was just really drawn to the instrument again, and it makes sense because I was playing things that that I really enjoyed. Um, I think playing games can be like this. Like you don't play games as a should or a have to. You play them because it's fun. It's fun to use your imagination. It's fun to use strategy, to think of ways of being clever and um, figure things out and to pretend. Uh, and I think these are great states of mind to to spread throughout all the different things that we're doing. So I think it can be a really fun thing to explore, especially if your work is, for whatever reason, is getting repetitive or something. You know, what if you were to introduce this idea of play or the sense of experimentation and seeing what's possible for you? I think this can be incredibly true with exercise. Exercise can be just another task that has to be executed on your to-do list, or it can be something where you really test what you're capable of or what you might enjoy, um, and also to set goals and to be excited to build up to something. Um, that's a place where really getting into your senses and getting into a sense of play can be really powerful. Uh, so I invite you to explore this domain of play and bringing that to your work and the things that you're pursuing.